So these are the contents of the throttle and brake pedal kit. These are the contents of the clutch. And these here are the T-nuts and the bolts that are left from our universal interface plate that can be used either for lowering and getting it a little bit higher, the heel plate, and attaching your interface plate to a sheet of metal or an aluminum profile simulator. So we will start with getting the cable off the way. Right now we're not going to be using that. We're not going to be using the extra brake plate just yet. And we are, though going to be using the T-nuts and bolts for attaching the throttle, the brake, and the clutch pedals. So we can get them right over here and get this ready to go. So obviously, in order to make it easy, again, the usage of T-nuts makes this procedure very, very simple. We can start with the brake pedal because it is the pedal that's in the middle. So in order to give that gentle touch or tap on the T-nut on the back, it's better to start with the middle one. If you don't want to do it, there's a trick that you can use to not have to give that gentle tap. So we can start doing it, and I'll show you all of that now. So obviously for every bolt, so every slot down here, you'll need a bolt with a washer as well. And we'll get that ready. So bolt and T-nut, again, just a couple of turns, and repeat the process for all the pedals, or all the slots over here. So now that you have all bolts, all washers, and all T-nuts in place, what you can do is align them perpendicular to the direction of the pedal. And then we will slot them in. There's 4 discrete positions. You can pick the one you want. And then after they go through, what you can do is, if you don't want to go underneath, you can rotate and pull the bolt up while doing so. So you can pull it and rotate. Or easier, you can just grab the tool, touch the T-nut underneath, and just slide it. And you know, it's as easy as this. So it all fits into place. There you go. Here, if it's harder to access, you can use that trick. And then obviously you can tighten it. Right now I wouldn't tighten it too much because we still want to see where we're going to position the pedal back and forth, as well as the heel plate. So maybe let things tight so they don't move, but loose enough so it will be very easy for you to actually move it about later. So now I'm just going to repeat the process. And also worth mentioning, we also include lock nuts rather than T-nuts in case you want to attach your pedals straight onto a sheet of metal again. So if rather than getting the universal interface plate, you want to attach your pedals straight to a different sort of simulator, such as, for example, an Ubuntu simulator where it's a sheet of metal, you can actually drill holes on that sheet of metal, even if it's a DIY simulator that you've made yourself and it's not aluminum profile, you can use these lock nuts. It'll also stay in place. They're lock nuts for a reason, so your pedals don't go flying while you're racing, and this will be very useful for that application as well. So obviously we're using our ecosystem of products, and we'll be doing the installation and demonstration with T-nuts, but you have that option off the shelf with as soon as you buy our pedals. So now I'm just going to repeat the process for the other pedals, and after we attach them, we'll get the configuration going. So all nuts, all washers, all bolts, everything is exactly the quantity that the system needs. So it means that Mario has done his job very well. And as a fun fact, the way we make sure that every single kit has exactly everything that it's supposed to, we actually weigh the bags that include the bolts and the nuts. So we make sure to the gram that you get everything that your kit is supposed to have. So yeah, that's how the pedals are attached. This would be ready to now go for some fine tuning on the position. These pedals are very heavy duty. They are very well built and they're heavy. So maneuvering them, make sure you don't get hurt by getting your fingers stuck underneath them or something. So handle them with care. Now, in the manual, we actually mention our advised positioning for the pedals. So again, to make heel and towing easy, we usually advise for the throttle to be a little bit behind your brake pedal. And also, in order to adjust it, you can now simply loosen the bolts a little. Obviously, I didn't tighten them at all, almost, so it'll be very easy to do it. And I'll just push the throttle all the way back and all the way to the side. And now actually tighten it a little bit more. The brake pedal, I will align it with the clutch. The clutch is all the way to the front right now, from the position that I chose, from the grooves that I chose on the universal base plate. And this should actually be an easy setup to get you a very nice position straight away without needing to think too much about it. Obviously, then with your sensibility while driving, you can then tweak it. So now I would align the brake pedal with the clutch, like so. And now tighten the brake pedal. Obviously the brake pedal will be subject to a lot more force than the other two pedals. You can actually see the different thickness, not just the size of the brake pedal, but the actual thickness of the stainless steel being used on the pedal versus the other two pedals. So this is all well measured and designed to withstand the pressures. And finally, as a final step, you can loosen the heel plate a little bit so you can slide it. And again, this will be so much easier now when you use the pedals yourself. you can always slide your heel plate back and forth and be able to get to whatever position you want. There we go. So we can leave a little space, a little gap over there, so it won't touch it. And then you just tighten it again. And now you plug the throttle and the clutch to the brake pedal. Electronics are in the brake pedal and it is ready to use.